And now, everyone, it is now time we will go and end this episode off with the grand finale. And yes, we might as well go and use the Smash Bros. Alarm for this, considering this is actually some Nintendo news. And oh my god, did Nintendo make quite a stir in the last week. Considering that, I remember it was on Wednesday when Nintendo made the announcement that there was going to be a brand new Direct. A small Direct that would just focus on one game in particular, but still, a new Nintendo Direct was going to be happening. The big catch, however, was that it was going to start in 15 minutes. Yeah, no joke. It was like literally a last minute thing. And they actually said like, oh, we're going to go and do this. By the way, it's starting soon. So many gamers and many streamers were rushing to their computers, making sure that they're all set and ready. I remember I recall like even for me, I was about to go and record something for an upcoming video. But then suddenly like I saw on social media that there was that update that there was going to be a new Nintendo Direct. And I was just there like, okay, fine, I might as well go and do that. So I went and checked it out. And yes, the big reveal happened. So let's go and talk about the new Star Fox game. Yes, this Direct was specifically for Star Fox, revealing that there is indeed going to be a brand new Switch 2 game that's going to be coming out soon that is simply titled Star Fox. And what is this Star Fox game, you may ask? Well, what they have done is going to be a 4K remake of Star Fox 64, to which it is going to be featuring brand new graphics and, of course, some brand new character designs, in which, yes, I will be talking about a little later. But at the same time, there's also going to be major focus in regards to the story, in which they have actually developed some brand new cutscenes, including, and this is actually something that the Nintendo Direct actually showed at the end of the whole stream, which is the prologue of the entire thing, in which we saw Peppy Hare, Pigma, and Fox's dad, James McCloud, onto their mission, and we saw some of the significant things happening, like we saw Pigma betraying the other two, we saw James McCloud's final act, and Peppy Hare leaving, and that's when the adventure would go and truly begin. So there's going to be a lot more emphasis in terms of the updated graphics and and presenting this entire world of Star Fox, of what they are going to go and do. But there's also a lot more to it than just being a straightforward remake, because at the same time, they have also revealed that in this game, there's going to be some more things that will be added to it, including a multiplayer mode, to which I will go and read you here from my source on Nintendo Life, to which it would go and describe over here that multiplayer, dubbed Battle Mode, will allow you to play as characters from the Star Fox and Star Wolf teams in 4v4 dogfights. One of the more unique wrinkles comes in the form of a 2 Joy-Con 2 co-op mode, where one player can use the mouse while the other holds the Joy-Con normally. So from there, they have pretty much revealed that yes, there is going to be a multiplayer mode in which you could compete against each other, whether it be locally or you could even play online. But there is also a special 2-player campaign in which you got one person who can go and actually pilot the plane as you go on your adventure, and another person who actually has the Switch 2 Joy-Con being in mouse mode, in which you can actually control the lasers, you could actually control the weapons in order to shoot down the enemies that are in your way. So there are different ways that you could go and play and interact with other people. But there is also one more additional bonus that they have created for this, and that is related to the Switch 2's game chat mode. Now, let me go and ask you this. have you ever dreamed of the day that you can have your own VTuber persona? But the VTuber persona is not necessarily an OC or anything like that. You just want to be a VTuber as one of the Star Fox characters. That you could go and like be a character from Star Fox as you would go and play a game. Well, your wish can actually be granted because in Star Fox, there is actually a special mode in which you can actually go and take the avatars of characters from Star Fox, in which you could select either like Fox, Peppy Hare, Falco Lombardi, or Slippy Toad, and you can actually become a VTuber in which you could plug in your camera and it will go and scan your head movements and your facial expressions, and the characters will go and imitate them. So that's all the bonuses that you would go and get with this Star Fox game. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to go and mention that on top of that, not only is it playable with all your different Switch and Switch 2 controllers, but if you also happen to own the Nintendo 64 controller that is compatible with the Switch, then you could also play with that as well if you want a more authentic style of playing Star Fox 64, but now in full-on HD. And the big thing, of course, that they have revealed with all this is when it's going to be coming out, because believe it or not, it's surprisingly soon, to which the release is going to be on June 25th of this year. So in about a month, this Star Fox game is going to be coming out. So you could probably imagine how people were just completely shocked to go and hear this. I would actually go and say that this is one of those things that's, it's surprising, but shouldn't be surprising, considering the fact that Fox recently became relevant again with the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And I guess it now makes a lot of sense to why Fox would somehow show up in that feature film, because even the movie itself wouldn't be able to find a way to justify why Fox is in this movie. It just made up a quick backstory and just rolled with it, kind of like with everything else in this feature. But now it seems to make sense where with Fox's appearance in the Mario Galaxy movie, it's a little bit of synergy because it's to go and build up with what's to come with a brand new Star Fox game that's gonna be coming out. So now that actually does explain it. It's one of those things we should have seen, but I guess it's more just the shock factor of how Nintendo would go and release a direct at the very last minute. It just made this thing feel all the more unexpected. And I will say, for me, I remember actually playing the original Star Fox 64, not necessarily on not on the Nintendo 64, but I have played it, I think, on the Switch, not the Switch, the Wii, when it had the Virtual Console. I think I played it on that, which is just a port, so I have played the game for sure. And I mean, it's definitely a solid game, I won't deny that. So when I heard there's this new remake that's coming out, yeah, honestly, it did get me, like, it definitely caught my attention, and I'm like, oh my god, there's a new Star Fox remake. Oh, I think I want to go and get this. So honestly, like, at the time, I was definitely hyped up to go, to want to go and actually grab it, because admittedly, I don't know what other Switch 2 games I want to go and get. I mean, I have been thinking maybe Hades 2, but I've been holding off on that because I want to go and first play Hades 1, which I heard both games are absolutely excellent. And then honestly, I'm waiting, I'm in like a wait and see mood on the upcoming Yoshi game that's going to be coming out in a few weeks. Like, I want to see what the word of mouth and what the critical reception is first before I would go and consider to actually grab the game for myself. But when it comes to the Star Fox game, I will say that's the one where it caught my attention, where hopefully, like, as long as it plays well, then I would probably go and grab it. Like, okay, like at least I know a little bit of what I'm in store with this. So, you know, I think I'd be on board with it, especially when you look at the graphics, especially like when you play the game, it looks beautiful. Like when you're in your R-Wing or when you explore all the different planets that you get into, it definitely looks nice. And yeah, it's such a graphical upgrade. Or is it graphical, the word that I'm looking for? But anyways, the graphics got a massive upgrade compared to the one on Nintendo 64. So yeah, definitely it did grab my curiosity. If we're getting this upgraded Star Fox game, this upgraded Star Fox 64 game, then I think I might be on board with this one. I think, you know, I'll definitely consider getting it for myself. However, it is worth noting that not everyone is excited about this Star Fox game, because as much as some people were hyped up for it, others were rather confused as to the whole experience, not just because of the last minute update, but also with the game itself. And there are definitely some critics who have been vocal about this upcoming Star Fox game for two specific reasons. Number one is in regards to the designs. And honestly, I'm just going to say for myself, in my opinion, they don't necessarily bother me that much. I mean, sure, it's not the best looking design for the Star Fox characters, and I do agree. I definitely do prefer the one in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, where it's a lot more cartoony and it's a lot more dynamic, especially with the expressions. Honestly, I do prefer movie Fox than this Fox right over here. But I will say it doesn't necessarily. It doesn't necessarily. I think I lost my word. Hold on a sec. It doesn't bother me. There we go. It doesn't bother me all that much. And honestly, like, if I play the game, I could probably get used to it. But at the same time, I understand why people are not on board with it, because it does look like something that would be in the uncanny valley, especially when they went with a more realistic design with these characters. In a way, they honestly look like what people would fear if Disney announced that they would do a live action remake of either Robin Hood or Zootopia, that the characters would all end up looking like this and people would just be more weirded out than they actually would be endeared by it. So I understand, like, when it comes to realistic CG, not everyone is on board with it. And it's not necessarily what's considered to be in compared to like the early 2000s and stuff like that. Like nowadays, like people are a lot more on board with like stylistic and dynamic animation, kind of like what we have gotten with films like Spider-Verse or Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and stuff like that. So something like this where it goes in a completely direction from that, like I understand why some people would definitely be put off by that style. And then there is the second reason, which is the fact that this is a Star Fox 64 remake. And the problem with it is that this is not the first time that Nintendo would go and re-release Star Fox 64. And this is not counting any of the ports that would be in either the virtual consoles or in the online catalog and stuff like that. Technically, this is the fourth time that Nintendo would go and release Star Fox 64, but in a different capacity. Because beforehand, there was a Wii U version of Star Fox 64 called Star Fox Zero, and I believe the 3DS also got a Star Fox remake as well. And the funny thing is, ironically enough, you could correct me if I'm wrong on this, but some people have even stated that Star Fox 64 is a remake to the original Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. So in that regard, Star Fox ended up getting more remakes than they actually do original games. I believe the last time that there was a new original Star Fox game with its own story and with its own batch of recurring and new characters and stuff like that, I think it was like 2 decades ago, like in 2005 and 2006, when they brought out Star Fox Assault and Star Fox Command. Again, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, honestly, it's been such a long time. And I mean, some people would even go and say, like, some people would probably go and argue that, oh, well, technically there's also this game that's not a Star Fox game, but I mean like a straightforward mainline Star Fox game that they would go and release like that. That's not like a little spin-off. That's, I'm talking about something that's like a main thing. It's been a long time since we've legit had that. So in that regard, that's also something that I personally understand why people would be upset about it, because, it's been far too long since we've had anything that's legitimately new from Star Fox. And now here they are back at it again, but with another remake telling us the same story all over again. It's ridiculous because I don't even think Ocarina of Time has that amount of freaking remakes. Oh boy. So yeah, like I can understand how it could be conflicting, but I will say overall, at least in my opinion, well, now that we've gotten all that, now that we've went through all the criticisms that people have said about it and all the different memes, which even I will admit are actually kind of funny. We let it sink in that this whole Switch or this whole Nintendo Direct actually occurred. I will say, honestly, now, like I've got some time to process and think about it, I would still say that, I'm still intrigued to go and get it myself. I think the only thing I'm waiting for is to know, how does the game control? If it's, if the controls are perfectly fine, if it's no trouble, then I'd definitely be open to go and actually get it myself. Again, as I said before, I understand why some people don't like the designs, but they personally don't bother me all that much. And at the same time, I've never played any of the other Star Fox remakes before. Like, again, the only time I've really played Star Fox 64 was the Virtual Console on the Wii. And I've never played any of the other Star Fox remakes that they've done after that. So honestly, I'm definitely more open to go and play this version, because like going from the original Nintendo 64 version to what we're going to be getting on the Switch 2, that's going to be quite a significant upgrade. So with this, again, I understand why some people are not into it, why some people wouldn't go and buy it, but I think for me, I think I would add this to my collection. Like, maybe there will be some things I'm going to wait to know, like, how is it going to be? But honestly, again, I'm on board for it. And if you guys are interested in having Star Fox for the Switch 2, then keep in mind that the game shall be coming out on June 25th. So with that said, now I would like to go and pass this on to the chat wall, and I want to go and ask you all, what do you all think about the Star Fox Connect and this upcoming Star Fox game on the Switch 2? Are you guys interested in getting it? Do you have some criticisms on it? Are you not on board with the fact that this is another Star Fox 64 remake and that these designs, they look a little too weird than actually cool? Let me know what you think. And you know what? At the same time, why don't we actually go and do a poll on this? So I want to go and ask you all, will you be getting Star Fox on the Switch 2? So I'll write down yes, and then we'll write down no, and see what people have to say on this. All right, so let's see here. I'm honestly not familiar with Star Fox as a franchise, but this shocked me. I can understand Nintendo wanting a new Star Fox game after Fox's appearance in the Galaxy movie, but I didn't expect it so soon. But it does have promise, even with it being another Star Fox 64 remake, and the designs, which do look weird, but it doesn't bother me that much, but I do think this could still have potential. And you know, the funny thing is that this could actually be a great introduction to Star Fox for modern audiences. I mean, let's face facts, folks. Most kids nowadays are not necessarily familiar with who Fox McCloud is. I mean, the most knowledge that they have gotten, or the most experiences that they have from Star Fox, would be from the Smash Bros. Games, and now with the addition of Fox's appearance in the Mario Galaxy movie, and that's pretty much it. Like you'd be surprised that many people nowadays haven't even played a single Star Fox game, so I can imagine how this remake is going to be quite an introduction for them. All right, let's see what else we got. I'm kind of mixed about this. On one hand, I'm disappointed that this is another remake, and the designs might be something I need to get used to, but on the other hand, this is a better reason for me to get a Switch 2. And if this becomes a success, I just want any excuse to see my girl Crystal in future games. Exactly. I mean, like, at this point, like, I know this is not necessarily the best idea for a Star Fox game, but if you want to have a new Star Fox game that can feature the comeback of Crystal, then maybe consider giving this Star Fox a chance, because, you know, it's kind of like with the idea of original animated features. If you want more original animated features to be released, then you need to support more original animated features when they do come out. Like, go and buy a ticket to go and check them out. Maybe they won't come out as the best, and maybe they might end up sucking, but it's still important to go and support that, to go and tell the higher ups that you want more of that. And it's kind of the same thing with this. You want more Star Fox, you want to see more Star Fox games, then you got to give this one a chance if you want to have more Star Fox games and also more new stuff where we can actually see the comeback of Crystal. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. Anyways, let's see what other comments are there. Okay, I'll admit that this news didn't really do much for me since I haven't played any of the Star Fox games, and the most that I know is through Smash Bros. And of course the recent Galaxy movie, but maybe it'll be fun. I'm just really sick of people raging about redesigns, even saying it should get the Sonic treatment just like the new Shrek designs. Just stop, guys. All right, before I continue, I just want to go and say maybe not many people have voted as much as the other polls before, but it is interesting to see that the grand majority of you who have voted actually said that you are interested in getting the game, in which 89% of the votes said yes, while 11% have said no. And just to go back in the comment with what they have said here, yeah, this is honestly the part where I feel like it's a little bit of a step too far, where people would go and compare this to 2019 movie Sonic, and they want to do that all over again, which no, honestly, this is more of a confirmation, like, not just with the reactions to the Shrek 5 redesign, but also this as well. It really goes to show that more and more people have really taken, people have taken the wrong lesson of what has happened with the whole Sonic redesign controversy, or the whole thing with Ugly Sonic. I think people misunderstood what that means, and now they think that if they throw a big enough temper tantrum and harass the right people, then suddenly they'll magically go and get what they want, which is not gonna be happening, folks. And honestly, all this does is just encourage more toxicity. I mean, it's a situation where, sadly, it feels like it has done more harm than good. I mean, yeah, it's great that the Sonic movies have become very successful, but the people's behavior on the internet has really gotten worse since. So no, honestly, like, it's best to just separate the whole Sonic situation with this, because really you're not going to come out a winner if you try to go and do that again. All right, I think I'll go and read one more comment before we go and cap this off. Let's see here. To be honest, I didn't have much interest in Star Fox. My focus is more on the upcoming release of the new Lego Batman game, which is likely coming out next week. You should definitely check out the launch trailer. It really is awesome. That said, I don't want to dismiss Star Fox entirely. It does look interesting, almost like a blend of Star Wars and Sly Cooper. I've heard some people were surprised by his recent movie debut, although they should have kept the designs, but I'll give it a chance. All right, well, there you have it there.